What is going on, guys? The 2020 NFL Draft is behind us. The top 10 didn't yield any surprises whatsoever, but things certainly got interesting soon after. As usual, several teams did a great job of finding the talents they needed to address organizational needs. Other teams, however, completely botched draft weekends and look poised for major setbacks in 2020. Here's our draft grades for every NFL team. Arizona Cardinals. A. Isaiah Simmons was an obvious pick for the Cardinals in round 1, as he has a real chance to be the best player of this draft class. The versatile and athletic freak can either bolster the front 7 or patrol the secondary alongside Patrick Peterson. Steve Keim found great value in the 3rd round with the Josh Jones selection. He addresses a weak link at the offensive tackle position. We also like the idea of spending 4 of the 6 picks on defense. Rashard Lawrence could be a productive starter on that side of the ball if all goes accordingly. Atlanta Falcons. C+. Thomas Dimitroff followed up a poor showing in free agency with a decent performance at the draft. AJ Terrell wasn't the best player available at 16, but the Falcons had to find a cornerback after cutting Desmond Trufant. They have their guy now. Auburn product Marlon Davidson, Atlanta's 2nd round pick, can only improve a mediocre pass rush, which will help in a division that includes Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Teddy Bridgewater. Dimitroff used 4 of his first 5 picks on defense. It's a smart call, although we're not sure if it was necessary to take punter Sterling Hoffrichter in the 7th round. Baltimore Ravens. A+. Death, taxes, and the Ravens winning the draft weekend. Business as usual for Eric DeCosta. How in the world did LSU linebacker Patrick Queen fall to Baltimore with the 28th pick? Why do teams always let gems fall to the Ravens? Running back wasn't their biggest need, but it's hard to complain about the J.K. Dobbins pick in round 2. Texas wideout Devin Duvernay should grow into a nice number 2 or 3 option in Lamar Jackson's aerial attack. And keep your eyes on 3rd rounder Malik Harrison. The Ohio State linebacker is a potential hidden gem that should fit nicely on Don Martindale's defense. Buffalo Bills. B. The Bills didn't have a 1st rounder because of the Stephon Diggs trade, but it didn't stop Brandon Beane from finding a handful of future impact players. The Iowa pass rusher joins one of the league's elite front 7 units. Utah running back Zach Moss has the chance to be the steal of this draft. He was a low-risk, high-reward pick. UFC wideout Gabriel Davis was a great find in round 4, and Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm was a nice value pick in round 5 at the very least. He's a serviceable backup. Carolina Panthers. A+. Using all 7 of their picks on defense. Love it. They took care of everything on the offensive side of the ball in free agency, so why prioritize luxuries instead of necessities? Derek Brown will be a beast on that defense for many years to come. He can single-handedly change the entire dynamic of this Carolina defense. Amazing that defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos of Penn State fell to the Panthers in round 2. He, like Brown, should be a big-time playmaker on defense. And Southern Illinois safety Jeremy Chin will be an upgrade over Carolina's safeties from 2019. Chicago Bears. C-. The Bears didn't address their needs and they didn't find much value with their picks. Plain and simple. They were without a 1st round pick because of the Khalil Mack trade. So why in the world are they taking tight end Cole Kmet in round 2? Didn't they just overpay for Jimmy Graham in free agency? The Kmet pick gave Chicago 10 tight ends on their roster. Seriously, like what? Jalen Johnson of Utah wasn't a bad pick, but cornerback wasn't the Bears' pressing need. Bears fans should be happy if one guy from their 2020 class becomes a full-time starter. Cincinnati Bengals. A+. It's simple. This long-time losing and frustrating organization found its new face of the franchise. Quarterback Joe Burrow will turn the Bengals into a juggernaut. Bank on it. Taking Clemson wideout T. Higgins in round 2. Why not? AJ Green isn't going to play forever, and too many offensive playmakers is better than not enough. The Bengals then used their final 5 picks on defense. Hard not to like the Logan Wilson pick in round 3. The Wyoming linebacker will address a big-time weakness on that Cincy defense. Cleveland Browns. B. Getting Alabama offensive tackle Jedrick Wills Jr. with the number 10 selection was all we needed to give Cleveland a nice grade. This pick comes a month after the Browns signed Jack Conklin in free agency. Just like that, the insanely awful Cleveland offensive line looks like it could be a top 10 unit. Last time we checked, that's pretty good news for Baker Mayfield. The secondary was a weak link for the Browns in 2019, but LSU safety Grant Delpit should be able to fix part of that. Hard to dislike the round 3 picks of Jordan Elliott and Jacob Phillips. They'll help improve an already stout Cleveland front 7 led by Myles Garrett and Sheldon Richardson. Dallas Cowboys. A+. The biggest winners of the draft by far. For starters, how how did CD Lamb fall to Jerry Jones in the 17th spot? How are teams supposed to stop Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Dak Prescott, and Ezekiel Elliott now? Say hello to a top 5 offense in 2020 and beyond. Also, not sure how Alabama corner Trevon Diggs fell so late before Jones took him in the number 51 slot. There's your replacement for the departed Byron Jones. Oklahoma defensive tackle Neville Gilmore, whom the Cowboys took with the number 82 pick, only adds more beef to an already ferocious front seven. Denver Broncos, A-. Can't complain about going all in on offense for young quarterback Drew Lock. Jerry Jeudy was one of the best picks of John Elway's career. He and Cortland Sutton should quickly emerge as a top 5 wideout duo in the NFL. We also like the KJ Hamler pick in round 2, although the Broncos probably have more offensive weapons than they need now. Elway found superb value in round 3 by taking LSU center Lloyd Cushenberry III and Arkansas defensive tackle McTelvin Agim. The Broncos are now loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. Can they finally make some progress in the post-Peyton Manning era? Hard not to be optimistic after Elway's performance in the draft. Detroit Lions, B-. As most mock drafts predicted, the Detroit Lions took Ohio State cornerback Jeffrey Okudah with the number 3 pick. Perfect. After trading Darius Slay, the Lions needed somebody to fix their wretched secondary. Detroit also has to find a reliable running back. They may have their answer in second-round pick DeAndre Swift out of Georgia, but the rest of the Lions picks were, Bob Quinn didn't find much value. He didn't need to use back-to-back picks on the O-line, and he didn't address the secondary after the Okudah pick. That's why they get a B-. Green Bay Packers, F. Let's totally disrespect our franchise quarterbacks who got us to within 1 game of the Super Bowl by trading up and reaching for his replacement, instead of using that pick to get him some wide receiver help. Hopefully he won't take it personally. That's what was seemingly going through the minds of the Packers front office entering the 2020 NFL Draft. Honestly, they were definitely trying to show Rodgers who was in charge. Makes total sense. Rodgers was probably acting all high and mighty and they just wanted to put him in his place. Maybe. Hypothetical, I don't know. I mean, no offense to Jordan Love, but the Packers had more pressing needs at wide receiver. Drafting the Utah State quarterback does nothing to help the team now, and it should only cause even more drama between Aaron Rodgers and head coach Matt LaFleur. And why are you taking running back A.J. Dillon in round 2? Last time we checked, Aaron Jones needed more carries, not less. And grabbing a tight end in round 3, Rodgers never uses his tight ends. It's honestly the worst draft class of 2020. Houston Texans, D. The head-scratching Brandon Cooks and DeAndre Hopkins trades left Bill O'Brien with little draft capital, and he certainly didn't make the most of it in any way. The Ross Blacklock pick in round 2 is questionable because D-line wasn't Houston's biggest need. Not with J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless in the fold. Florida linebacker Jonathan Greenard was a good find in round 3, but again, will he do much to upgrade this already solid front 7? Yes, O'Brien didn't have much to work with, but that's because of all the trades he made, so he ain't getting any sympathy from us with this draft grade. Indianapolis Colts, A. There was no 2020 first-round pick for the Colts because they traded it for stud pass rusher DeForest Buckner. It's not a bad move at all. USC wideout Michael Pittman Jr. and Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor will serve as wonderful weapons for newcomer Phillip Rivers. But the Jacob Eason pick in round 4 is what won us over here. The Colts got perhaps the 4th or 5th best QB in this draft, and will relish the chance to learn from both Rivers and offensive mastermind Frank Reich. These Colts are built to win now with Rivers, and in the future with Eason and company. Jacksonville Jaguars, B. They gutted the Saxonville defense before the draft, so why not try to build up Saxonville 2.0? We absolutely love the CJ Henderson pick. He'll offset some of the damage after the Jaguars bid farewell to Jalen Ramsey and AJ Boye. Number 28 pick Kayvon Chason and 2019 first-rounder Josh Allen will anchor a younger, cheaper, and revitalized front 7 that will be downright scary in a few years. Colorado wideout Laviska Shenault Jr. was a beautiful fit in round 3. He and DJ Clark should emerge as a formidable duo in 2020. Seems like GM David Caldwell has his guys heading in the right direction. Kansas City Chiefs, C+. LSU running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire gives Patrick Mahomes yet another flashy weapon. He could very well emerge as the lead back in 2020. Nothing fancy the rest of the way, but Andy Reid and Brett Veach always find hidden gems in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds. Wouldn't surprise us if Mississippi State linebacker Willie Gay Jr. became a future Pro Bowler on Steve Spagnuolo's defense. Las Vegas Raiders, C. We like the idea of taking receiver at number 12, but Lambert Judy would have been safer picks over Henry Ruggs. And sorry Raiders, but that Damon Arnett selection in the 19th slot makes little sense to us. Probably could have traded down and picked him up later. That was a huge reach. Nothing against Lynn Bowden Jr. and Brian Edwards. The Raiders round 3 picks, but they already have Ruggs, Darren Waller, and Tyrell Williams. Did they need more pass catchers? And how about that Tanner Muse pick in round 3, when they already have LaMarcus Joyner and Jonathan Abram? We like some of these players. We just don't get why the Raiders decided to strengthen their strengths instead of addressing more of their weaknesses. Los Angeles Chargers, A. Had to take Justin Herbert. Had to. No other primary weaknesses. The roster is star-studded. Just take your QB of the future and get on with it. Well done, Chargers. Trading up to nab Oklahoma linebacker Kenneth Murray at number 23 overall. Pure genius by the front office. The Chargers will now run him with Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram in the front seven. No picks in round 2 and 3, and nothing really stood out in rounds 4 to 7. But their 2 picks in round 1 were enough for the Chargers to earn a high grade here. Los Angeles Rams. B. No first rounders for the Rams because of the Jalen Ramsey trade. But Les Snead and Sean McVay managed to get Jared Goff some much needed support with their other selections. Florida State running back Cam Akers should add some much needed juice to the rushing game in the post-Todd Gurley era. Florida wideout Van Jefferson will offset the loss of Brandon Cooks in some capacity. Alabama linebacker Terrell Lewis and Utah safety Terrell Burgess. Both third rounders add more depth to a depleted defense. Very nice work here for a team that entered the draft with little capital. Miami Dolphins, A+. Thank goodness. No fear. They took future franchise quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and did not look back. It's a pretty big relief. But what's a franchise QB without help on the O-line? Done deal. Dolphins got Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt to beef up the O-line. Alabama defensive tackle Raekwon Davis and Texas safety Brandon Jones will also bolster a defense that already added Byron Jones, as well as Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy in free agency. So enjoy your bright future, Miami. Winning days are on the horizon. Minnesota Vikings, B+. Taking LSU wideout Justin Jefferson in the 22 spot was just perfect. There's your Stephon Diggs replacement. The offense won't miss much of a beat now. The Vikings gutted their secondary early in the offseason, but GM Rick Spielman wasted no time addressing it here. He took 3 corners in Jeff Gladney, Cameron Dantzler, and Harrison Hand. Boise State offensive tackle Ezra Cleveland was a nice value pick in round 2 as well. The New England Patriots, C+. Plenty of draft analysts and experts hated Bill Belichick's draft, but the greatest coach of all time deserves the benefit of the doubt. Kyle Duggar and Josh Uche weren't the hot picks everybody wanted, but Belichick will laugh when they become Pro Bowlers. Taking 2 tight ends in round 3. It's a curious move, but he had to do it because the Pats got nothing from that position in 2019. And we're fine with him taking 0 quarterbacks here. Tom Brady was not an attractive pick in 2000, so who's to doubt Belichick's ability to turn Jarrett Stidham into a winner? So Patriots fans, just relax and trust in Belichick. New Orleans Saints, A. With arguably the most complete roster in football, the Saints could have just napped through the draft and made 0 picks, and we wouldn't have complained too much. They only had 4 picks in this year's draft. First rounder Michigan center Cesar Ruiz only strengthens one of the league's best offensive lines. He's their long-term replacement following Max Unger's shocking 2019 retirement. Wisconsin linebacker Zach Bond was arguably the top steal of the draft, falling to New Orleans in the 74th spot. The Saints needed some linebacker help to complement Demario Davis. Sean Payton and company nailed this draft. Now it's time to win a second Lombardi Trophy for Drew Brees. New York Giants, B. Dave Gettleman had a million needs here, and he did very well for the most part. Taking Andrew Thomas at number 4 overall was the safe pick. You have to protect Daniel Jones, otherwise he won't enjoy a long productive career. That also explains why Gettleman took another offensive lineman, UConn tackle Matt Peart, in round 3. Alabama safety Xavier McKinney will instantly improve a downright awful secondary. All in all, a nice showing here from Gettleman as the Giants try to get through this frustrating rebuild ASAP. New York Jets, B-. Many thought the Jets would go receiver in round 1, but protecting Sam Darnold was the main priority here. Hard to dislike the Mekhi Becton selection at number 11 overall. The Louisville product will provide a drastic improvement to the O-line. The Jets found their receiver in the 2nd round, in the form of Baylor product Denzel Mims. GM Joe Douglas continued to address his needs in the latter rounds, like taking safety Ashton Davis and defensive end Jabari Zuniga in round 3. None of these were like sexy picks, but Douglas wisely addressed organization needs rather than pick the best players available. Philadelphia Eagles, D+. Should have taken Justin Jefferson over Jalen Reagor. That's all we'll say. Also, Jalen Hurts is an interesting pick in round 2. But Coach Peterson, how do you plan to use him? He ain't replacing Carson Wentz anytime soon. Why take him this early? The rest of the Eagles picks were just kind of meh to us, so no great value whatsoever, especially after they botched their first 2 selections. To be fair to GM Howie Roseman, they didn't have any pressing needs in the draft. We just think he should have taken Jefferson in round 1, along with anybody but a quarterback in round 2. Pittsburgh Steelers, C+. Ask Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, and Juju Smith-Schuster. The Steelers developed their wideouts better than anybody else. So we'll go ahead and pencil in 2nd rounder and good Canadian boy Chase Claypool. as a future star in the Steel City. The Notre Dame wideout will be a nice complement to Juju in the passing game. We like the Alex Highsmith selection in round 3. Even more beef at the linebacker position for defensive coordinator Keith Butler. And don't laugh at us, but we think Maryland running back Anthony McFarland Jr. has a great chance to take the lead reps in the backfield. San Francisco 49ers, A+. John Lynch basically turned DeForest Buckner into Javon Kinlaw, after using the Colts first rounder to move down and grab Kinlaw, then using the pick they gained by moving down to move up with their other first round selection and nab. Then they flipped their 5th round selection and a future 3rd rounder to the Redskins in exchange for Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams. The defending NFC champions already look a lot better on paper. That's a scary thought for 31 other teams. Seattle Seahawks, B+. Jordan Brooks, Darrell Taylor, and Damian Lewis were not sexy picks, but neither were Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, or Cam Chancellor. Our point, John Snyder and Pete Carroll always find great value with their picks, no matter how much the experts question it, so we caution you to not criticize them too much this year. And Snyder simply addressed his team's primary needs, the pass rush and the O-line. Can't really fault him for that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A. Simple priority here. Protect Tom Brady. The Bucs did just that by trading up to snag Iowa offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs at number 13 overall. Minnesota safety Antoine Winfield was a nice value pick in round 2. And Vanderbilt running back Keshawn Vaughn has the chance to take over as the lead running back after being selected in the 3rd round. But again, protecting Brady was a top priority. Wirfs should help take care of that. Tennessee Titans. C+. Nice job by GM John Robinson grabbing Georgia product Isaiah Wilson to replace the departed Jack Conklin. LSU corner Christian Wilton was one of the better finds in round 2, and he only adds more depth and skill in the secondary. Nothing overly flashy or cute about the Titans draft. Robinson kept the core of the 2019 AFC runner-ups intact. Wilson and Fulton are fine supplements to this group. Washington Redskins, A+. Chase Young was the best prospect entering the draft. The Redskins are lucky that the Bengals need a quarterback. Young is a generational talent as a pass rusher, and he should change everything about this defense. Young alone gives Washington an A-, because the rest of their draft was a bit, in the middle. We respect the Redskins for drafting 2 wideouts in Antonio Gibson and Antonio Gandy Golden. That's a fun name to say, because Terry McLaurin can't do it all on his own. Young might be the only impactful player from the 2020 Washington draft class, but that's okay. He could be what's needed to bring this long-term losing franchise back to relevancy. Which team do you think had the best 2020 draft? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything, go find us. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click down below, and subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day is a new video. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.